right, let's get it popping on the YouTube side so I can share this video. All right, all right. So we on the YouTube side here. Okay, sharing the videos. You guys got anything planned for the holidays? Just chilling and relaxing. All right. Hanging at home. Okay, I mean, there's a lot of people that's out there on, at the beaches and everything. I'm seeing people getting shot up at the beaches, just a normal day in the streets. That's how they do. You go to the beach, get the virus, get shot. That's what's happening, right? I'm just kidding, man. I have seen some things shot up down at Myrtle Beach, which is crazy. Like, why are you shooting? You should be so excited to go to the beach if you're going out there. But you know how people crazy these days. All right, letting the guinea pigs out. Okay, cool. All right, let's get it popping. Let's get it popping. All right, let's start off here. In fact, let's just go to the futures. Oh, let me make sure that I can see the chat on the YouTube side just so I can reply to you guys over there. What's good, Terry? I see you, G. I'm going to place this like right here just so I can see that. All right, so I can see you guys on that side. Cool. All right. All right, all right. So welcome to Game Plan Sunday. Today is May 24, 2020. We're here with an extended weekend here because we got the holidays tomorrow. So just keep that in mind that the markets will be closed on Monday. We'll resume on Tuesday. But, there's a lot of things that was occurring over the past week here. And so, the markets were, pretty mixed. But one of the things that really caught me that I was pretty excited about was the pop in silver. And, that's something we've been pretty much waiting for. And I'll dial into some of that here in a few. But we did have Jay Powell, who came out and was talking about, the economy and everything and how he's going to basically get everything, he's going to do everything he can to keep the bubble going. What's good, Crypto Manza? I see you, my man. Thank you, sir. Thank you. You guys make sure you hit that thumbs up button so that, algos pick up, and make sure you share it to your crew and everything, or we'll get it popping. So yeah, we had Jay Powell that came out, and you guys know it's very, it's psychological. When they bring Powell out on 60 Minutes, he's there to try to, keep the confidence going, saying that he's going to deliver everything he can. I mean, the only thing the Fed's can do is just keep on printing money. So just keep that in mind. No matter what the issue is, their solution is, print money, print money. All that money is going into the financial market. So you see that the markets, continue to go up, because all that money has got to go somewhere. That's where it's going. It's not going into the economy. The economy is still terribly weak and continuing to weak. So, we had over 2 million more jobs that were lost, over the past week. So, I mean, we're like, 38 million jobs that's gone. So a lot of people not working right now. And, that's just, that's where we are right now. So, not to really dial into too so much of the economic data, I think we pretty much already got a consensus of what it is. This is bad news, right? So it's bad news, every week. But if it's not too bad, then the markets is, considering this good news. So you get the markets, being irrational, of course. I mean, this is typical, right? Well, that makes the environment pretty tricky to operate in, right? Because this is terrible, but then it's like, geez, I want to get involved, right? So yeah, there's opportunities that's in, that's at play, right? We want to try to choose the highest probability opportunities that we can find in the markets, and it's a little more challenging in this environment for the swing trades. Day trading environment is more suitable right now, but I think we may have some swings that's coming up here, so we'll dial into some of that. We had a lot of tension with China, U.S. and China. The tension is ratcheting up right now. That's going to be interesting. The U.S. already blacklisted a couple of Chinese companies, so we'll take a look at some of the Chinese companies where I think I got some ideas for some Chinese stocks, some shorts actually, because of U.S. intervention. With these Chinese companies is not good, and Department of Commerce blacklisted some companies also. I think about like 9 companies. So just understand this: the theme is that the U.S. and China, we're at war. That's just basically all it is. All it boils down to is that we're at war. It's just not a military war, right? So I say that because when you say the term war, people thinking, military bombs over Baghdad type deal. No, this is, I think the powers that be understand that war is not, beneficial to anybody on the planet right now, right? Or Earth, whatever you want to call it. We could do this economically, right? And so, as you already know, Granddaddy Dalio, he already, publishing his work, this framework, and he's showing you what's happening on the charts, all data. And so in that, he's highlighting, showing you how, China's the rising power. America's the champion. So we're the champion, but we're losing power. We're coming down. But China's rising really, really fast at an exponential rate. They're the challenger. So the challengers, competing with the champion. The champion's trying to maintain power. So that's what we are right now. All efforts will be to, maintain America's strength or China to get its leverage. That's what it's all about. So everybody else is pretty much weak links. It's all about U.S. and China. So you already know the situation with Huawei. That's been an issue we've been monitoring for like over 2 years now. The trade deal, you remember beginning of the year, the same week that we got the coronavirus, was it the first week of January? Trump supposed to have, China came through and signed a phase 1 trade deal, right? And then also had a USMC trade deal as well, scrapping the or NAFTA 2.0, whatever you want to call it. But what I was saying back then is that's interesting because although they, the stock market was, pretty excited, but I'm like, we got to see if they can adhere to these things, right? Can they adhere to the, the first part of the trade? We don't even have a real trade deal. And that is going to be deteriorating, as we continue with this thing. So you guys know Trump, he's been out there talking mad, blase on China, right? He's ratcheting it up on China. And the crazy thing is that with the country shut down, it's putting them Trump is under a lot of pressure. I'm going to tell you right now, we don't want to be him, right? So, you're conflicted with, your advisors, Fauci. I don't know if they're falling out or whatnot, but, Trump, was not feeling WHO, Bill Gates and all of that. He threatened to, pull out of the whole situation. If he giving them 30 days and if they don't, do whatever he wants, then, U.S. is pulling out. And China said, well, F it, we'll front the bill. And if we come up with a cure, we're going to supply the world with it first. So it's kind of like, Trump is saying one thing, but then China's like, okay, yeah, we got it. We cool. We don't care. And then you have Europe on top of that, that's, not listening to Trump, not adhering to Trump and Pence's, restrictions and guidelines to stay away from China. They're actually closing deals with China, which, I'm trying not to blame them because they are closer in location and trade and things like that. And they're trying to do what's best for the economy. But as you can see, the players in the middle, they're having to pick sides. And that's going to be interesting going into this election year. As I was saying, Trump is under a lot of pressure. Understand this. So it's pull out all stops, whatever you can do. Got to get the economy back rolling out right now. So that's one of the big things. But it's a catch-22, right? Because you open it up, people get the virus, people start dying, it's really not going to be good. But you got to see, you got to do what you got to do. If you take a look at the data, it's a lot of high, congested cities like New York City. That's, pretty, they get hit with it really hard. When you go out in places in the Midwest, they're not even seeing it. They're seeing the stuff on the news. So, as a leader, he's trying to figure out what's the best, thing, trying to leave it in the hands of the states, to open up. But, that's just what we're going through right now. So with all that being said, you got to understand what the Feds is doing. Everybody got their stimulus check or whatever, or, well, not everybody. I guess they still rolling it out. In fact, somebody was telling me they're rolling out debit cards and all of that. So anyway, they're doing everything they can to get the money to the people, and they're trying to get the people to spend the money, right? So that's the whole goal, is get you to spend money. So that's how the economy is going to grow. And the question is, are people going to be spending money? Now, there are other reports of, unpaid mortgages, unpaid rents, astronomical levels is happening right now in real time. But the question is, are people spending? Are people hoarding money? So you got to think about this collectively. Now, I think it's interesting because even myself, my birthday was the past week, right? So my whole family birthday is all in 1 week. So if y'all know, shout out to everybody who sent me shout outs. But, I got to celebrate everybody, every day of that week is like Christmas, I guess. So I'm just chilling, playing a video game. And my headset piece broke. I had to go to Wally World, Walmart, to go get a new headset. When I go there, all the headsets are sold out. Now I'm telling you this because it's interesting, because all the kids are home right now. The kids are not in school. Kids are sitting around playing video games all day, every day. If you guys take a look at the previous Game Plan Sundays, what stocks were moving, right? We talked about EA. We talked about NVIDIA. We talked about Activision, Blizzard, right? Because of the video games. So anyway, you got to pay attention to real life, right? Your real life indicators, what's going on. So you go to the stores. I'm calling Best Buy. I'm calling all the stores to see if they got this stuff. Nobody has it. Sold out, right? And I just like that. Okay, that's crazy. So people getting their stimulus money spent on video games for the kids. I mean, so there may be, some spending going on. We just got to figure out where the spending is happening at, right? So that's the whole thing, is trying to figure out, will people spend or will people hoard? The smart move is for people to just, hoard the money, because, you got 30, almost 40 million people out of work. And you don't know if you're going to get back to work. So it's in your best interest to, to save your money if you can. Right. But that's entirely up to you. So let me take you guys here real quick. I don't know if you guys been on the website real quick before we start chopping up some dates and some numbers and stuff. But yeah, so this is on the website. So you guys not on the website, make sure you get up there. All right. So let's move this out the way. All right, cool. And is Wes in here? No, that's Dust. Okay, so Wes. Okay, so I know he was talking about Amazon, but here we go. Off the Chinese information, right? Boom. Posted here on the website. Here's a list, the stock list I got over here. You can see it to the left side, right? So when the news break, you already know what to look at, right? Bingo. That's right there. Real time is right over here on my watch list. You can see that. So these are some of the things that I just posted on my timeline. Wall Street Jack Boys, the website. It works just like Facebook or whatever, you have your own timeline. So I just post some things in here, throughout the day. Also, Granddaddy Dalio, his new framework, he's putting out. I just want you guys to see this so people don't be thinking, oh, you just coming out with this out here, on whatever. I mean, we talking about the geniuses with all the money who's got the resources to go do all the research. They put it out there. I'm just a study of the work. I'm studying the work. So when you take a look at the cycles, he's showing you right here, how the cycles work. And you can identify where you are in the cycle, right? New World Order. This happened back in 1944, right? With the Bretton Woods situation, where all the countries basically made the dollar the world reserve currency. And after that, you get peace, prosperity, productive debt growth. So he's basically saying that people are using debt to grow. So debt is not a bad thing if you're using it to grow. It's a bad thing if you're using it to consume. But in the beginning stages, after the rebuild, people use the debt to grow, which is a good thing. That's how you start building. Then you get a debt bubble and you get a big wealth gap. So then, things start to get, out of hand, right? And the rich get richer, right? Poor gets poorer. Then you get the debt bust and economic downturn, right? So that happened back, beginning of the year, right? Real time right now, printing money and credit. So the framework is good so you can see, so you can know where you are, so you can kind of have foresight of what, to expect to come, so that you could prepare, right? So this was all about. So after the printing money and credit, they're basically destroying the dollar, right? So that's basically what's happening. Then you get revolutions and wars. Well, we're already in a war right now. We're in all kind of wars, but we're just not in a militaristic war, but it can translate into a militaristic war, which they normally see that happens. But just remember, we got trade wars. We got, this COVID situation. Trump is highly pissed. He's not playing with China. Everything he said, China's not taking that too well, So you got to understand that that's a possibility. and then you get debt and political restructuring. This is important because we're in an election year, right? So this election year, you got, Trump and Biden, supposed to be going at it. If Biden, if the Democrats, maintain behind him, which he did have a spoof this week, talking about black people, which, African American community did not take that well. But you got him, and then you got Trump. We don't know if the Democrats are going to bury Biden and try to get a better candidate up there. But just understand, they're going to politicize everything that's happening right now. So you got bailouts, you got all this stuff that's happening. A lot of economic policies are being made right now that's going to have long-lasting impacts on the economy in the future. And some of the things give short-term benefits, but they're more detrimental long-term. And so you start to deal with them later in life, like what we're dealing with right now. This stuff has been compounded years over years. This whole situation with China, this has been way before Trump, right? Well, us shipping industries over to China, taking jobs and resources away from Americans, that's the whole, Make America Great Again campaign has been about anyway, right? And so that, allows a benefit short-term, meaning that consumers can buy the things that you normally buy for cheap. However, the jobs are gone, right? So that has social impact. So that's more of economic thought there, right? But just understand, after all of this, stuff that's happening right now, this whole debate, this whole, Biden versus Trump is going to be, they're going to turn it into a capitalist versus socialist, situation. A lot of the young kids, they all for the socialist situation. In fact, I was actually, when I was playing my video game last week, my birthday, there's a kid that I play with. He lives in Canada. And he was saying how in Canada, they're getting $2,000 a month for like 6 months. But he says they got to pay it back from their taxes in the future. So they're going to take the money they're getting now, the $2,000 a month, they're going to have to pay it back later. And he says that he sits down, he plays video games all day. He's not working out at all. He's sitting at the house playing video games, getting paid $2,000 a month. What kid is going to turn that down? You see, it's kind of like, the devil's giving gifts, and it's hard to resist if you don't understand the framework, right? Because when the devil give gifts, man, he gonna collect times 10. He don't give nothing for free. So thank you, Shad. What's up, my man? So it's funny how it's crazy when you think about it, right? Because a lot of people work. Most of you guys work, right? So if you're working, you're busting your butt all day, and you got kids that's sitting down playing video games, making more money than you, or whatever the case may be. I don't know, how much people make, but it's still they making money. How do you get those people? How do you influence those people to come back to the economy to be productive? Because you got to understand, there's no productivity, the economy can't grow. So one of my fears is that we're moving into a stage where productivity is really going to drop down, and it's going to have a negative impact on the economy overall. If you think about the Middle Ages, so you got to go back in history, right? In that time frame where the Europeans basically blacked out, right? And they couldn't move forward. They had no, movement in education and all that other stuff, right? We could be going through something like that. I'm not too sure, but I mean, that's the way it's looking. You got kids out of school. I mean, come on. They're not really studying, right? They send a little work or whatever, but that's going to weaken the productivity. Kids are playing video games all day long, not working, not out cutting grass, the things that I used to do when I was a kid, being productive. I used to, work my mom's business, cleaning houses, cleaning apartments, and painting and maintenance, all that stuff. These kids are not productive. And you could say that, if they're home, if they're coding and doing things on the internet, on the web, then that's a different story. But they're not doing that. They're consuming, and they're getting paid to do it. So that's socialist, situations there that, young people look at that as like, hey, I want that. That sounds good to me. But understand, when the government gives, the government takes. Okay, it's not just, you're gonna get a free check and that's it, right? It's gonna be you get a free check. You're gonna need it's not even free. You're gonna get a check, and you're gonna have to have some kind of requirement, whatever people want to call it, the mark of the beast, chip implant, a card or something, and you're gonna be forced to get whatever vaccines that they can get one. Which again, we had Moderna, the company. The stock market was rallying this week, because results are looking good off of that company who's working on a vaccine. So you're gonna have to be, required, and they're talking about it now. Really, they're talking about it now. Whereas you get this government oversight where you don't have freedom. Right now, you have to stay in the house. You can't come out till they say you can come out, right? You're going to have to get a vaccine. If you don't get a vaccine, or even China, they have a situation where this good citizens thing, right? On social media, okay? If you are, a bad citizen or good citizen, you will get access to these benefits, right? Or you will be, held from these benefits, right? So yeah, the money is there, but if you're, saying, like, think about it, you got all this censorship on YouTube and Facebook. You can't say certain things, or they block you, they ban you. That's suppressing your freedom of speech right there. But yet you can't say it's the government necessarily, because the public companies, they're actually facilitating the work of the government. But if you guys watch like C-SPAN, you'll see these companies, Google, Facebook, and all of them, they've been in hearings, for a couple of years. And, the government is pressuring them to suppress information on the web. So it's still the hands of the government. They just, the guys in it under the public companies, right? I was looking at one of the C-SPAN meeting hearings where Congress was pressuring Google, because Google on YouTube, you guys know, and they were asking them about, hey, what are you guys doing about flat Earth? Because the flat Earth videos is getting crazy, right? And Google's like, oh, we're suppressing the videos. It was a lady who's running, one of the top ladies of Google. She was saying that, yeah, we're suppressing the videos, we're demoting the videos, and we're flat out banning channels and things like that. And then you come over to the Facebook side, same thing, that they're banning videos and stuff like that. I saw Tony Robbins release a video. That's a guy, what's his name? David Beck released a video with these doctors. These doctors are coming out talking about the situation with COVID. I mean, these people got PhDs and all of that, right? So they're, credible people, credible sources. One of them is even a Senate. And they're coming out, opposing this whole narrative about the COVID situation, but they are being, suppressed, cutting off, the freedom of speech. And that happens in fascist, governments, right? That's socialist, fascist, communistic style of government, right? Where, hey, we taking care of people, so people don't really care. They think it's short term, but you don't understand you're losing freedoms at the same time. I mean, why is it that people can't look up information? Whether it's, I mean, you know how much ridiculous information is on the web, right? Why is it that you have to target certain things? Because it's misinformation. It's so much misinformation. We've been having misinformation. I mean, if that's the case, you might as well ban all the news channels, ban CNN, ban Fox, ban all these news channels, because it's all paid for, right? And it's all subjective. It doesn't make it fact just because, fact checker said this. Man, get out of here, right? But this is how they engineered the minds of the masses. So this is what's happening right now. And all of this is part of this whole new world order that's ushering in right now. So anyway, this is the last point. I just want to show you guys that real quick to keep your eyes on that. Y'all know how I cover some of the economic stuff, right? So anyway, that's some really good stuff right there. What else we got here? Definitely looking for some feedback from you guys on the Game Plan Sundays. Okay, so this is a credit stuff right here. S&P. I was on this conference thing here, and they actually, delivering this data about the credit of these companies, the sectors of these companies, the sectors and the S&P, who's being negatively impacted, as far as bankruptcies are going to be coming because of their credit worthiness is really terrible. So anyway, you can see this on the website. You can see every sector that's high at risk. So I got some of this information here. Also, their projection of the economy itself, GDP, as you can see, baseline case 2.1. What they're saying, if this is a mild recession, then you get, negative 15. But this is what they're calling for, right? This is the outlook for second quarter, negative 34. And if it's a severe recession, then their model is projecting negative 38%. This is terrible, okay? Look at the numbers. Look at the unemployment. So anyway, just keep that in mind. Under, the economy itself, not in a good, position. Stock market, there's opportunity here. But this also adds to the whole socialism debate going into the elections. They're going to politicize all this. Hey, 40 million people out of work, and stock market, Wall Street guys out here cutting ribbons and popping confetti and stuff like that. We need to do something about these, these greedy capitalists, right? All of this stuff is going to engineer the people, because you got to have some free will, right? It's not that they holding gun to your head. They set the, it's like a rat in a rat race. You got all these little, pieces that's in the maze, and the rat has to move places, but you put a barrier in his way, then he has to turn around and go another way. So they can engineer and direct. They got to give you some free play so you can make your decisions. You go through door 1, you go to door 2. You go through, you take the red pill, you take the blue pill. You still got to make a choice. So anyway, that's what's going on with the economy itself. Let's see. We have S&P 500. Let's take a look at it right now. All right, so cool. We talked about this. Um, let me pull out my. There we go. All right, cool. So the 200 moving average right here on the S&P. So remember, this is the high. We talked about this when I was telling you guys that these sectors were looking pretty weak, and the game in town was the Nasdaq, right? 200 moving average. That's this yellow line right here. That's key resistance. It is holding up in my 618 on the Fibonacci, as you guys can see. But remember, that's the safeguard just in case the Fibonacci blows out and got the moving averages on top. So again, that's what we're looking at. We had a squeeze here. Squeeze fired off. But look what happened. Price didn't move nowhere. Price still stopped out, right? So that's interesting going into this week coming up, because when the squeeze fire off, when you get a nice fire, it pops through that resistance. It normally gives it enough power to pop through the resistance, but we didn't get that. So I find that interesting. The pop last week, I mean, the movement that we saw again, the NASDAQ is where the juice is at, right? The NASDAQ is where the juice is at. So the NASDAQ, here we go. These are the tech companies, right? And this is where the juice is at. And we talked about how, hey, man, they're so close to hitting that new high. Wall Street would definitely love to hit that next high. It's only a stone's throw away, right? Bingo. That's all it needs to do to hit that, that target. So it's like, bing, small little move right there, and you can hit that. That's a target that, the market is definitely itching to get to. Will we get to it or not? I don't know, but I think that it's highly probable that we'll get to it. Although, equities is overbought right now. It's still, I definitely wouldn't want to short this, is what I'm saying. So definitely wouldn't want to short this. Definitely needs to pull back, but I think that the case to the long side will continue. Which brings me to, I think Wesley was pointing out last week about Amazon, right? There you go. You have Amazon right here. Amazon had this nice squeeze on here. So I believe he posted it right when we were, let me see. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Excuse the volume bars on here. I normally have them off so you can't see them. But this is a pretty cool move. So what he was calling out was this play in Amazon. Let me just bring it down so you can see that. All right, let's call this play in Amazon because the squeeze was there. And it was right here at the 786. And then it popped off right up here to our target. So let me show you. All right, it was right here. It's calling out, hey, let's hit this play in Amazon. And it made a, move here, hit that resistance level, and then it's coming back. I thought it was interesting because what I was looking at and what I was saying is that, yes, I do see that setup. And it's a short-term setup because the long-term, what I was looking at, you got to go to the, all right, not the weekly. Let's go to the monthly. Okay. So you got to get to the bigger time frame. And I like the squeeze on the monthly. I mean, it looks good, sounds good. But remember the way that I work the moving average. Okay. You see, we got the 9 right here, the green line right there. The way it worked the moving average right here. If you can see that green line. The stock price can't go too far beyond that. Okay. Just pay attention every time. Let me actually pull out the other annotation so you can see. All right. So just understand this is where we are right here on it. Okay. That price tracks the moving average right here, the 9. This is the mean. So whenever it comes up, right, you see it back here, come up, snap back down, come up, snap back down. So when it's bullish, it got to come back down to the mean, right? And the last time we saw that big move in there was this candlestick right here. And what did it do? Snap back to the mean, right? Then it started chopping around. And then we get this move up here that's really far away from the mean. And this is the bar right here. So for me, this needs to come back to the mean before I would like to get involved in it on a long play. So and it may be a little more abstract for you guys that don't really understand that, but just, it's pretty simple. You see how the price has to track the mean. It goes away from it. You ride it on its way out, right? And then as it peaks, it comes back down. It's got to snap back into it. So that's the pullback. That's a healthy pullback, right? no stock goes up straight up, right? That just doesn't happen. It works its way up. It's crawling, on its way up. So that's what we're seeing. So when you get that pop really high, then you want to wait till it come back to that mean. Let it come back to the mean. Then you ride it on its way, and then you let it pop up. So you got to be in, and then let it pop up, and then you sell out so you can realize your profits. So that's pretty much the way that works. Okay. All right. Cool. So anyway, that was a short-term play. If you go back on the daily chart, it is looking like it's starting to shape up some kind of double top. So we got to see how it's going to play out. I think that the move in here is pretty much exhausted. So, I think Amazon's still going to do what they do. They got shareholders meeting this week actually coming up. So this could be a double top. We'll see. But it's too high. $2,500 is too high. What else? Let's see here. What do we have on the menu? In fact, let me actually go to. All right, let me actually cover. Let me cover gold and silver. Right. So let's go to gold. 30 minutes. Okay, cool. So gold, had a pretty decent, consolidation up here at the top. And the case for gold is interesting because, we have a squeeze here, right? We got a squeeze in gold. Gold has not cleared this target. That's resistance. Okay. Now, if you look at the chart, it looks like gold is forming a double top. Boom. Boom. This is what it looks like. It looks like it's forming a double top. We look at this, the trend here is going down. And we have a squeeze here. Now, I don't know if that squeeze is going to fire long or is going to fire short, but I would, for me, wait till gold pulls back if you're looking to get into it right now because it's in an interesting position. It can go either way, but the chart it looks like it's going to go down here. So, I mean, I would reserve and see if it'll come down to the 50, if you're looking for some long exposure there. And I think a lot of this really boils down to the dollar. So depending on how the dollar is going to move. Let me take a look at silver real quick. Okay. Silver is looking, let me just take this off here. That's a nice rally here. When we got into silver, we started buying silver. You guys notice, look at that. Come on, 48%. I was telling people this is the best bet in town. Now I still like silver better than I like gold. Because look how it's trading. It just popped above its moving averages right here. Now, with this being a sell trigger, right? Momentum is still up, but I believe it's going to die down. So what I believe we'll see is that silver will come down. First it hit the 9, okay, and I would like to see it hold right here at the 200, right? So it may chop around here. That's what I would like to see. It's already hit major milestones up the way, but come down here at the 200, maybe chop around a little bit so they can recalibrate before it makes its next leg higher. I do believe that, it still has much more potential to the upside. Remember, even on gold, gold and silver normally track each other, but even on the, I got this $20 target here on silver. Let me show you here. And, this is a long play. All right. But remember, let me see here, Bank of America target on gold. So remember, on the trading side, is short-term in sight, unless you're buying the hard assets. You're buying the hard assets, which, is the best bet. Then, that's what you have. So Bank of America has this $3,000 target. I said it was very, very aggressive, right? Boom. That is very aggressive. My Fibonacci is showing me about 2,200 and 2,500, somewhere around here. These are two targets right here that are key levels, once we get up there. Overall, it's bullish, right? But it's going to have some pullbacks along the way. So it's just, when I'm talking about pullback, selling off, I'm talking about, it pulling back, a healthy pullback, so that you can get a better entry, a better price. All right. So with that being said, interesting setup that I do see in the markets on, let's take a look at bonds. Not on a weekly, but on a daily. So interesting thing here is that on a daily chart, bonds is definitely looking bullish here. So what I see, okay, got a trigger right there. Let me just take that out. Okay, bingo. Buy trigger right there. Momentum has already hit this lower bounds here, meaning that it's oversold. And once it hit oversold, it normally bounce back up. The big pink line is the one that we pay attention to, not the smaller ones. And that normally comes back up. Got a squeeze that's on that thing right there. Now, keep in mind, this is key resistance here. All right. It has not cleared the 618, but because the squeeze is on there, that should give it enough power to fire through. So that's interesting. So, you know, and that's the 30-year bond. Same thing for the 10-year. All right. Same thing on the 10-year. So TLT, you know, this is, you know, the ETF for it. This is the one I like to the long side. I would like TLT to 170 target. It's about 5-point move right here. 786. You can see has trouble clearing this zone here. But that makes good for a nice trade. All right. And what else we got here? Healthcare stocks looking interesting. Unitedhealthcare is looking interesting. Okay, cool. So we got the ranges in here. You can see clearly set right here, major target, right? You can see that zone right here. It's choppy all up in here, right? We got a buy trigger right here, and we do have a squeeze, right? And it is overbought, so gotta tread a little softly here. So, you know, what I actually expect is for it to move up to the zone right here, right? I don't know if it's gonna break out beyond that, but we do have a small trigger in here, and I can play it to the upside to about this target here, you know, $300 basically. And it could break out, you know, beyond that if the squeeze fire long. So that's, you know, it's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, Dustin, Monday the markets, you know, equities is going to be closed. So Tuesday, you know, we'll see how everything play out. So you remember we got an extended weekend here. So yeah, I definitely like to watch the you know, Unitedhealthcare. A lot of things going on in healthcare right now with the virus and everything like that. So, you know, overall, I'm net positive on, you know, the healthcare stocks, you know, in this time right now. So, you know, I don't mind taking that risk. Costco has earnings coming up, and Costco's earnings is coming up this week as well, which is interesting. And you know, the reason this is actually popping up on my radar, let me just show you here. I mean, this may be, you know, ascending triangle here. It does have a squeeze, so of course it pops up on my radar because it's in the squeeze. And it's right here. It's under the non-moving average, but it's holding up on the 100 so far. And the question is, will we get a move in this thing before earnings? I don't know if I want. I definitely don't want to hold it through earnings. But can we get a move up into earnings this week? That's a possibility, right? This right here would be a good target. But the reason why I bring this up is because I did see a chart on BJ's, right? Look at this. So, you know, BJ's, if you guys, you know, have Costco where you live or have a BJ's, I used to have a BJ's membership a while back, and I just never used this stuff back, you know, when I lived in New York. It was a waste of money for me. I never used it, but a lot of people do like it. And right now, with people trying to buy things in bulk, seems to be the thing that makes sense, right? You can buy things in bulk if they have it in stock. But when you have Costco and BJ's, it's pretty much like the same kind of store. Look at that move that happened in BJ's. I mean, this is crazy. This is for the earnings, right? This is last week. Boom, hit that target. Look at that. That was a big move. So, you know, this is one of those kind of correlating, you know, ideas that I'm looking at that, you know, Costco can make a move like BJ's. I don't know if it can move that high, but because BJ's move so strong, we have Walmart. And, you know, crazy thing is Walmart didn't really do well, but their earnings was good, actually. Amazon killed it as well. So anyway, just looking at the major retailers, I believe that they're going to actually, you know, be positive. So that's the Costco idea, comes from that. Look at let's look at, I told you guys, we were just talking earlier about some of these Chinese companies, right? Let me see. So, the U.S. has blacklisted a lot of Chinese companies. Here go one of the names. I'm going to just go through a couple of the names here. You can see the charts, right? And, they fell drastically. You see my watch list over here. You can see, this is the Chinese companies list, right? So, that exposure, I mean, you can see this thing has not cleared the 618. All it took was the news to hit it. And bingo, you see that thing just, falling. So you can see the momentum and everything is shifting down. It's going into a squeeze. A lot of these Chinese companies, here, they are definitely, bearish. So that's a name. There's another one, like DJ Khaled say, another one. So here's another one here. Again, you got this resistance zone, which is the 200 moving average. You can see every time in the past, it has not cleared. It spikes above, but hasn't cleared. Got a sell trigger right here. Sell triggers, momentum shifting down, squeeze right here. The news, should make it go down even further, right? That's something that, these companies, not specifically this company, but a lot of these Chinese companies, they are being attacked under this whole situation. So, looking to short these Chinese companies, you take a look at like Alibaba, Baidu, you can see they gap down, boom. Look at that. Bingo. So still, looking negative towards the Chinese companies. What else? Let's see. Chinese companies. Oil. I'll cover oil real quick. Now, oil, you guys already know the news with oil. Oil's, it's getting, creamed. And then oil's, it found this floor right here. This is the floor on oil, right on the Fibonacci right there. And this is like an inverse head and shoulders, right? So you got that, but then you got the 100 moving average, which is posing as the key resistance zone. Okay, so key resistance right here up against the 100, and the oil stocks have hit their objective. I believe they hit their objective, from the sell off here, which is a major sell off. Then you get this, retracement here, and I believe that we're going to continue to go back down. All right. We see momentum is dropping down here. Momentum starting to shift down. Got a sell trigger right here. So, some oil names in there to the short side. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at this week. I'll take a look at a couple of things that you guys are looking at right now, and then we'll bring the session to a close. My man says, let's see. Oh, you guys let me know what y'all want to take a look at. Drop the stock tickers in the queue, and then we'll take a look at a couple of names. Talk about technical analysis, chart patterns in a simplified way, explain the mechanics. Okay. Shot, yeah. I mean, if you gotta, register for the classes, you get the classes on the website, then you'll be able to go, you'll be able to see all of that, and you get the training. So if you want to get the training, then yeah, that's the training here right on the website. You can go to the courses and just sign up. All right, so this will be the master class right here, and you go to the master class to sign up if you want to get my my program here. So lots of details, courses, and stuff like that all in here. All right, and that's at wallstreetjackboys.com. All right, where were we? Explain the mechanics, construction of both. Okay, yeah, it's all explained in the courses, my G. So sign up, and then you'll learn everything you need to know in the most simplified way as well. So I believe that I'm the best teacher on the planet right now. So let's see, Monday's AMD cannabis stocks blew up in the past week. Yeah, were you playing the cannabis stocks, Dustin? All right, AMD. What you looking at on this one, Ron? You looking at a cup and handle? What you looking at? Best teaching you. Oh, thanks, Mark. I didn't see you was in here, G. All right. Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting chart looking like let's see. I don't know what that was. Remove the drawing. AMD, computer chip company. These computer chip companies are interesting. Again, the NASDAQ stocks have been doing their thing, but I think a lot of these tech companies, they're going to be negatively impacted with this China situation too. So you got to understand a lot of hardware. The U.S. We specialize in software. That's what you got, Silicon Valley. You take a look at China, you have Shenzhen. Shenzhen specializes in hardware. You take a look at any kind of hardware you have, the software in there we do, but you got to get the hardware from China. Basically, the manufacturing is done over in China. So a lot of those Chinese companies being blacklisted, being negatively impacted, they don't just are just a company. They supply. They're like a supply chain thing where some of these companies, they need parts from these companies. So I really don't know. I don't want to play them right now just because of that situation. I mean, you are looking at like a little cup and handle thing right here, Ron, which is a bullish play, but I believe that we'll see a pullback in here before it makes a strong move out. I'm not too sure. So, but that's just how I feel about it. Just play your game, manage your risk. I do see the squeeze here on the weekly, which that looks that looks that kind of makes me feel better about it. So the squeeze right here on the weekly and the trend moving up. So I do like that. Let's see, momentum is kind of sideways, a little choppy. But let's take a look in the past squeeze. What's what happened, right? When it was in this last squeeze, right? It fired off long. Big, nice move right there. So it's still in the squeeze now. We may have some more time to consolidate. Overall, it's a bullish chart. So maybe we consolidate, hit a a support level, and then move up. Um, yeah, I think this is more of a longer term situation. I don't think that's going to pop off this week, but we'll see, right? Because it did have a short squeeze back here, and that popped off. But we'll see. I don't know if it's ready to blow yet. But that's how I feel about it. Um, what else we got? Tilray, quick trade last week. Yeah, I think what's the other stock? Was it Kronos? Kronos looks better. Let's see. Kron, excuse me, Kron. I think that looks better. Let's see, Tilray. A lot of these these weed stocks, they've got creamed. A lot of these weed stocks got creamed. And a lot of them are like penny stocks now, right? Let me go to the daily chart, here. So, I can see you guys playing these on the stock side. Had a squeeze in there, squeeze fired long, but it fired like a little dud. The key thing, it's got volume behind it, so that's cool. But you still got to clear this 100. You got to clear the 100. So just understand that that's the risk that you're opposed to, right? That you got to come up against, and you got to clear. And if you can clear that, then you can get that $18 target up there. So yeah. Cannabis may be able to treat corona. Yeah, hey, the stock market is being real crazy right now. Anything that's saying something about beating coronavirus, they're happy about it. So yeah, that's a good one. What's the other one that looks is it called Cron? Yeah, this one looks better actually. You got a buy trigger right here on there. You got that target up ahead, trend moving up, momentum shifting the other way, right? You see that everything is shifting the opposite way. So you see that momentum could carry it up to this, 100. That's the target. That's a resistance zone right there. Again, these are really small, stocks. So, uh, we stocks. What else we got? Terry. Okay, cool. All right. And then Jeff. Okay. All right. New relic. New relic. Okay. Well, just taking a look at the chart itself. It is trading above its moving averages. So let's go back here. It was in its downtrend, right? You see, that was a major level, right? Resist, and you got up here, got resisted, resistance there, but then it's finally popped through, which is a good sign for this stock, long term. So because it is trading above its moving averages, right? And so, because of that breakout there, I do like that, to the bull side. So it's a bullish stock here. Let's see if I can get some targets up on it. Excuse me. All right, we'll swing that high to that low. And that's a really aggressive target if this thing can really make it out there. That's really aggressive. You can see to the upside at the 127 extension. Yeah. I mean, because again, that 1-2, look at this is the Fibonacci zone, but this is pretty much a gap filler. That gap drop down. So it looked like it's trying to fill that gap here. So again, that's a more long-term outlook. That's not like this week, but that's something that you can, pal into over time. What else? Okay. Moderna. Okay. What is the ticker for Moderna? I forgot. Let's see. There we go. mRNA. There we go. Yeah. So, I mean, geez, Louise, look at that. Yeah. So just looking at it, I mean, it's definitely superly overbought. Okay. What we'll do is just take a look here. Right. Super overbought. You can see the moving average is spreading out, crazy. This thing went from bing, boom. All right. So you got a sell trigger here. That's when you got that. It's back to the mean. Okay. It is back to the mean. But because of that, looked like it's rolling off. We see momentum shifting down. It's nothing that I want to short, but it's nothing that I want to get in. I think it's too high. I think it's overbought at this level here. The move was to get in back here, ride it up. But who knows? The news on this stock this is news driven based off of the COVID situation. With promising looking trials, I guess they're rolling out. But a lot of that, COVID stuff is so up in the air. It's you can luck up and gamble with it and make some money on it, but it's tough for me to call it, right? Because is it just news? We don't know. So you got to see, this drugs and stuff that they're doing with this COVID situation, what's going to work, what's not going to work. Is it working short term? Will people get back? Can people still get the, contract the virus afterwards? It's just so much. And I really don't play these, bio tech stocks. They are crazy. But don't get me wrong. There's money to be made there. Just manage your risk. Understand what you're willing to deal with. I'm not willing to deal with the biotech stock companies, pharmaceutical companies. They are crazy to me. You already got out major money. Okay, good. Did that. Thought about getting in again. Well, I mean, again, you want to play this more, short term. It is too high, in my personal opinion. It needs to come back down before it can come back up. So, cool. Thoughts on the. All right. Then we'll be at time. Oh, this is an interesting chart. Dominion Energy. So the energy stocks, they are interesting right now. So, let me move this out the way. All right, cool. So again, just taking a look at the chart, you see the 200. It's been pushing up against this bad boy, trying to clear it, and you got a flag, pretty much a pennant here, and just looking at it, it looks bullish. Okay, so I like this to the bull side. Let's see if we can get some targets on it. So that'll be a bigger target. And then I'm going to take this swing high to this swing low. Let's go here just to see if we can pull out some more immediate targets. So about $85 should be somewhere that we can get to, for the immediate term. All right. Smash a lot of moving averages at once. Yeah, it is. It's just like, straight consolidating all in here. And it's trying, but with that squeeze on there. That squeeze look like it's gonna, and you see the faster stochastics on there moving up beyond that, and then you got that buy trigger. So it look like it may break out. So I do like that, for at least a $5 move at least. All right, cool. Okay, so with that being said, remember coming up this week, let me see what we got on the menu. Remember that the markets are going to be closed tomorrow, so for Memorial Day, right? So no trading. You guys get to relax. Couple of earnings. Let me see earnings. AutoZone coming out on Tuesday. Ralph Lauren on Wednesday. Um, Costco. We already talked about Costco. We talked about Dollar General, Dollar Tree, Nordstrom, Ulta, Dell. All those on Thursday. So that's going to be, earnings for Thursday. I think Thursday is going to be a big day this coming up this week. What else that I remember seeing? I think Wednesday. No, is it Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. Okay, so Wednesday, Amazon, Chevron, Exxon, Facebook, Twitter, they're going to have their annual shareholder meeting. And I will be looking at some clues into Amazon. I definitely want to check out Amazon's. You guys know I got some financial models that, built on Amazon, working on one right now for Walmart. Get a lot of insight. Amazon is a really, really interesting company. Started back in the 90s, I think 97. And their model is the same model that they had since 97, which is crazy. So anyway, Amazon is just a great company, the way it's run. So the management, Jeff Bezos, all of that. So anyway, I'll be taking a look at that on Wednesday. We got some economic data coming out for housing. I think again everything is pretty much negative for residential homes. Tuesday we're gonna get all of that, and what else we got? Yeah, there's some pretty much boring data that's coming out this week. Remember the unemployment numbers will be coming out. I believe on Wednesday. Yeah, the Department of Labor, the Department of Labor numbers. And that's still high, as you guys know. We're getting, 2 million. It's going down, but it's as long as it's staying at 2 million range every week, and that's still not good. And then we got the ISM numbers for Chicago PMI numbers. The Chicago PMI numbers coming out on Friday, and the BEA personal income and spending data. We did have some consumer data from last week that was really weak, so that was interesting as well. So yeah, we got some, a couple of key economic data points that's coming out. But yeah, so with that being said, we'll go ahead and bring the session to a close. I appreciate you guys joining us in on the fun. If you haven't checked us out at the website, wallstreetjackboys.com, make sure you check it out. Make sure you get your profile loaded up, interact with your colleagues, share your ideas. Let's get this thing popping, man. I had to take a week off last week because of my birthday and my family's birthday. So we had to take care of the family, you got to be the family man too. So, but we'll be back on it and get this thing turned up. So make sure you guys check it out at wallstreetjackboys.com. All right. So with that being said, we're going to bring the session to a close. See you guys next week. Enjoy your holiday. Peace.